In a luxurious mansion at the edge of the city, lived Mr. Richard, one of the most powerful businessmen in the country. His life was perfect, or so it seemed. Behind the golden walls of his empire was a pain no money could cure. His only son, Ethan, just 7 years old, was battling a rare heart disease. Doctors had declared that Ethan had only 1 day left to live unless a donor heart was found immediately. Every hospital, every contact, every favor, nothing worked. Richard, once a man of control, now sat helplessly beside his son's hospital bed, praying for a miracle. Meanwhile, in the same mansion lived Maria, the kind-hearted maid who had served the family for years. Her son, Liam, just 8 years old, had become Ethan's closest friend. They played together, laughed together, and shared secrets beyond their age. When Liam heard that Ethan was dying, he didn't understand what heart failure meant, but he could feel the fear in his mother's eyes. He saw Mr. Richard, the man who always looked strong, break down in tears. And something inside Liam told him, he couldn't just stand there. That night, the storm outside matched the chaos in the mansion. Ethan's condition got worse. The machines beeped louder, the nurses rushed in and out, and Maria stood in the corner, praying silently. Liam slipped out of his mother's arms and walked to Ethan's side. Ethan smiled weakly, whispering, "I'm scared, Liam." The little boy's voice trembled as he replied, "Don't be. I'll fix your heart. I promise." Maria noticed Liam hugging Ethan tightly, whispering something no one else could hear. Moments later, he ran out of the room, tears falling from his eyes. Hours passed, and the doctor's voice echoed in the hallway, "I'm sorry, Mr. Richard, we might not make it till morning." Richard fell to his knees. Maria tried to comfort him, but her heart sank when she realized Liam hadn't come back. She searched every corner of the hospital, until she heard someone call out her name. A nurse came running, breathless, saying, "We found a matching donor, but it's a child." Maria froze. The nurse handed her a small note, written in crayon. "Please give Ethan my heart. He needs it more than me. Tell Mama I love her. Liam." Maria screamed, her legs collapsing beneath her. The doctors tried to calm her, but it was too late. Liam had run into the street to save his friend's life, hit by a car just minutes earlier. His heart was a perfect match. The room fell silent when the doctors told Richard. The man who once measured life by wealth now stood trembling, realizing the greatest act of love came from the poorest heart. The surgery began at dawn. It was the longest night of everyone's life. Maria sat outside, numb, her eyes empty but filled with prayer. Hours later, the doors opened. The doctor smiled faintly, saying, "He's alive. Ethan's alive." Richard wept uncontrollably, rushing into the room. He saw his son breathing peacefully for the first time in days. But when he turned and saw Maria, something inside him broke. He knelt before her, crying, "I took your son's life to save mine. How can I ever repay that?" Maria, holding Liam's photo close, whispered, "You didn't take his life, he gave it. He loved Ethan. That's all that matters." Days later, Ethan woke up. He looked at Maria and asked, "Where's Liam? I want to play with him." Maria smiled through tears, touching his chest gently. "He's right here, my boy. He's always with you." Ethan's eyes filled with tears as he placed his little hand over his heart. "It's warm," he said softly. From that day on, Ethan grew stronger, not just in body but in spirit. He often spoke to Liam's photo before sleeping, telling him stories, sharing secrets, and promising to make him proud. Years passed. Ethan grew up and became a doctor, building a hospital in Liam's name, the Liam Heart Foundation. It offered free treatments to poor children who couldn't afford care. During the grand opening, Ethan stood on the stage, his voice shaking as he said, "Once, a boy gave me the gift of life. He didn't have money, fame, or power, just a heart full of love. And that heart beats inside me today." The audience stood, many in tears, as Maria, now old and frail, smiled proudly from the front row. As Ethan ended his speech, he looked into the camera and said, "Sometimes, miracles aren't made of magic. They're made of sacrifice, kindness, and love." If this story touched your heart, remember, sharing love costs nothing, but it can change everything. So never give up on doing good, and subscribe for more stories that remind us what it truly means to be human.